All right. So I'm going to give you, I don't want to say a bunch, but some notes about each of these 4 things. And so I'm going to give you some pictures and things like that, and you can kind of fill them in as we go, and I'll help you write things down as we need to. Sound good?
Yep.
Sweet. All right. So we will start with the atmosphere. The atmosphere, what is it? You guys tell me. What is it made of? The gases, right? The gas. Or we could say the air. Oh, it's on freeze, so you can't see yet. There you go. The gas of the air, thank you. Where does that air exist for the most part? The atmosphere. Kind of like a layer around the earth, right? Yeah. Surrounding the earth. It's still frozen? Why is that?
You froze it.
I froze it after I froze. Oh, jeez. Come on, Carl. I must have like bumpy fingers today or something. I don't know. Surrounding the earth. Okay. I don't know because I didn't look carefully. I guess in which one of we have a couple of atmosphere posters. Some of them may have this and some of them don't. But is the atmosphere completely uniform throughout it? No. In fact, kind of like the earth, the atmosphere has layers, doesn't it? Yeah, and I've got a nice little picture here. You don't have to have all of these things here, but you might want to just make a note that the atmosphere does have layers. Okay. And I don't really care that you know all of the names of the layers, but I do want you to know the layer that we live in, that the atmosphere that we live and breathe and enjoy, and that is called the troposphere. So it's written right here. Okay. So the troposphere is the layer that we live in, that we breathe, that we know and love. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't have to write all those words, but yes, the layer that we live in. Okay. The troposphere is made up of lots of different chemical elements, things that we have, like oxygen and nitrogen and hydrogen. Oh, hello. You working today? Okay. Yep, O2. Yep. Yep, O2. Sorry. And nitrogen and hydrogen, I guess I could write them out. Sorry, I've got my chemistry on my mind here. Oops. It's sad. That's funny. I need to write that one down. I like that one. In the troposphere, we have our weather as well. That's generally where we think of like the weather occurring. Okay. And the other thing that I think is important to know is that the atmosphere is really, really helpful for us, not only in giving us the gases that we breathe and taking away the gases that we exhale, but it also is a very, very important layer of protection. What does it protect us from? It does. It protects us from the sun. We have this kind of love-hate relationship with the sun, don't we? We need it. We've got to have it, otherwise we can't exist. But, well, too much of it can be dangerous as well, right? Yeah. So the atmosphere, the other really nice thing that I want to make sure that you know is that the cushion of it, the air, protects us from sun's radiation. Is the word radiation scary? No, it's not scary. It's just the electromagnetic waves, right? It's just the light. But there are certain kinds of light, like the ultraviolet light, that we don't want to be exposed to quite as much. And thank goodness the atmosphere absorbs a lot of that. Also, the atmosphere absorbs a lot of cosmic ray particles that are very high energy cosmic rays that otherwise can cause lots of issues as well. Sound good? Atmosphere, check. All right, so we're going to move on now to the next one. We're going to do hydrosphere next. So you've got your atmosphere box filled in with all of those things. Let's put some stuff in the hydrosphere box. What? Hydroclass? Is that, I don't know that reference. Can you explain it to me?
Water bottle.
Oh, hydro flask. I know what a hydro flask is. I thought you said hydro class. And I was like, I don't know what that is. Like that.
Not the hydro.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Interesting. All right. What does the hydrosphere include, my friends? Water, right? Absolutely. Is there a lot of water on Earth?
Yes.
Yeah. How much of the Earth is covered in water?
70%. 72%.
70 something, right? Like, like if you're gonna, round it, I'm gonna say about 70%. We'll say about. That kind of gives us a little wiggle room. About 70% of the Earth is covered in water. That means the hydrosphere is pretty big, pretty intense, right? There are different kinds of water that we include in the hydrosphere. Got some little pictures here for you just to kind of give you a sense. The hydrosphere is made of both salt water and fresh water, okay? So you want to make sure, and you don't have to write all these words down word for word, but this is just kind of some info for you, right? So we've got salt water and we've got fresh water on Earth. It's important to know that the salt water, where does the salt water exist? In the oceans and in the seas, right? Like the Mediterranean Sea is part of the ocean, even though it's called the sea, right? It's connected. And then we've got fresh water, and that fresh water exists where? Lakes, ponds, rivers. And this part I do want to make sure that you notice and that you note is that all of the frozen water, that's all of the glaciers, that's all of the icebergs, that's all of the frozen water that exists on land or in the ocean is also fresh water and is part of the hydrosphere. Yeah.
So for oceans and seas, or is like a sea just smaller than an ocean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah. It's more of a geographical thing, right? It's a fair question because it's kind of weird. It totally is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are geographers, thank you, that will classify, like this is a sea and this is a bay and this is a da-da-da-da-da. Like there are lots of different ways to classify these things. The reason that I included it here is just that, like, again, I think about like the Mediterranean Sea, right? The Mediterranean Sea is literally just connected to the Atlantic Ocean through a little strait, right? But it's not like it's all fresh water. Let's see, what else do we need to know? So make sure that you've got the salt water and the fresh water, and that the fresh water includes frozen as well. That part is important, okay? What else do we need to say? Oh, another big thing, and this one seems a little bit surprising to people when they first realize it or first find out, but it is the hydrosphere that basically regulates all of the temperatures on Earth, okay? The hydrosphere regulates it's the big currents that go up. I don't know if you remember when we were talking about density and we were talking about convection currents. There was a video when they were talking about how not only do the convection currents happen in the mantle, but they also happen in the ocean. Right? And that cold water, the warm water sinks down. Is that right? Did I say that right? No. I just said that backwards. The warm water rises up and the cold water sinks down, and they've got those currents that keep going. I said that backwards again. Let me try it one more time. Right? Cold water sinks. Warm water rises.
You said it right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I think I said it both ways and I was confusing myself. Oh, yeah. They're uncomfortable. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. I think that's what we need to know about the hydrosphere. You ready? Let's keep cruising. What's next? Geosphere. What's the geosphere made of, friends? Land, earth, rocks. Yes. Yes. Okay. So the geosphere, earth like not the planet, but earth like the stuff, right? Yeah, that soil stuff. So the geosphere can kind of be described as the rocks that make up earth. Okay. And actually, I'm going to change this a little bit so that I write it in a more honest way. Part of those rocks in the geosphere are on the crust. And generally, when we think of the geosphere, that's what we think of. We think of all of the rocks, we think of the minerals, and we're going to talk about rocks and minerals and how they cycle through. And we're going to do that tomorrow. It'll be great. But, I really don't want you to restart right now. No, thank you. Hide. I know. I can hide it, but it's in like an hour from now. Can I not hide it? I can move it like that, though. Haha, see ya. But the geosphere also includes all of the magma that's in the mantle and all of the stuff in the core, right? All that iron core, all of that on the interior of the earth. That's all part of the geosphere as well. So we've got a pretty good handle on that already and kind of what that all looks like. We're going to spend some more time with the geosphere tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about the stuff we're going to do tomorrow and Friday. So something to look forward to. Yay! Not that every day isn't great anyway. Last one. You guys good or no? Do you need another second? Biosphere. What? That was fast, yeah. We'll spend a little more time on the geosphere tomorrow, like I said. But that was what you needed. That's like the basic stuff. Biosphere. What makes up the biosphere? Life. Everything that's alive, right? If you feel alive, you're part of the biosphere. All living things. All living things on Earth are part of the biosphere. Okay? Sometimes people get into this mental state and think about, well, that means the elephants, and it means the birds, and it means the fishes, and it means the humans. But what have I really only included?
Like mammals.
Well, yeah, that was deep. It's true. But yeah. Animals, most of those were mammals, not quite all of them. But anyway, I've included only animals, right? What have I not included in that list? Plants. And you guys have talked about this in other things, right? Microscopic organisms, right? Bacteria, protozoa, all of these little tiny things, right? That you don't even think about as being alive. How many of you have eaten yogurt in the last 3 days? Anybody? Yogurt? Oh, yes. Ever in your life? Yes. You know that the cultures in yogurt are alive, right? No. Did you guys ever do that in middle school? Like, get to look at the bacteria, the cultures in yogurt under a microscope? You can actually watch them live. Yeah. It says live cultures right on it. It's good for your gut. Scientists, let me have your attention, please. I don't want to freak you out. Shh, listen. I didn't mean to freak you out. I apologize. I want to remind you that the cheeseburger you ate yesterday also was alive at one point, right? Just saying. But I will tell you that the live cultures in yogurt are actually really, really good for your gut. Do you know that you have lots of living things in your gut right now? And let me pause a little bit more and say that if you didn't, you would die. Okay? We have lots of symbiotic relationships between the stuff that's in our gut and us in order to make us work and function and live and prosper. Okay? I'm not a biologist, but I know this, and I think it's important for you to realize that you are not just you in that way, right? There's a lot of stuff going on in there, and you've got to understand that. And that stuff is part of the biosphere as well. So you got those microscopic organisms that some of them live in the dirt and some of them live in your yogurt. And either way, it's great. They help you to grow and prosper, and they help the earth to grow and prosper. What's up, friend?
So are you saying when you eat yogurt, it's alive?
Yeah, they have active life cultures.
What is it?
It's a culture. I can't remember exactly. It's not yeast, but yeast is another thing. Yeah. I made some bread over break, and I had to get 3 different packets of yeast because 2 of them were dead. Dead yeast does not make bread. That is for darn sure. You have to have live yeast. So like you put, I don't know if you've ever done this before, but I strongly recommend it because it's kind of fun. You put the yeast in hot water. If you add a little sugar, and then it goes, and it like, bloop, 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 bloop. My kids were watching, like, oh my God, that's so cool, right? Because literally, that stuff that's in the packet is alive. And when they grow, that's what makes your bread get bigger and rise and not just be a lump of, okay? It's okay. It's not a bad thing. What's up?
Okay, so when you said that there's living stuff in your body, were you talking about your organs?
No.
Okay.
Your organs are part of you, but there is a lot of, like, there are living organisms in your gut that help you to digest, and without them, you would not be alive. I'll get you guys some articles to read. I don't want you to freak out. All right. Oh my gosh. Weren't we going to have free time at the end of today? You guys talk a lot. It's okay. Yeast and stuff.
We learn a lot. I had to do my mouth.
I'm sorry, man. They're not spiders.
No more yogurt for me.
There's like tiny spiders.